Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be continuing to look at all of the 2024 Big Finish releases from July to December 2024, and we are now in October 2024. Obviously, we're not, but Big Finish release calendar-wise, we are. So let's get on with it. So in October 2024, Time War Uncharted Reflections, The Third Doctor Adventures, The Quintessence, Bernie Summerfield, The Eternity Club 2, Torchwood Widdershins, and Jenny the Doctor's Daughter Saving Time were released. I should mention that this is of time of recording on the 5th of July 2024, so that list may be a bit longer or things might not be in it. Obviously every month I'm gonna update and do a new episode, at least maybe two, depending upon how much stuff there is to talk about so I'll be updating it. So we're going to start off by talking about Time War Uncharted Reflections, which stars Paul McGann as the Doctor, Emma Campbell-Jones as Cass Vanezzi, Sonny McGann as Alex Campbell, and Hattie Morahan and Conrad Westmus in currently unknown roles. Time War Uncharted Reflections will be written by Catherine Armitage, Tim Foley and James Moran, with the director being Ken Bentley. Here's the synopsis. The Doctor and his great-grandson Alex have been reunited amid the Time War. Splintered timelines draw them ever closer to another fellow traveller. Does Cass's destiny lie in the TARDIS? As the Time War rages, Doctor enters uncharted territory where any friends they meet might not be what they seem. There are 4 stories in this box set, so imagine they were about an hour long. So it's a 4-hour box set, but 4 individual stories. So we have Nowhere Never by Catherine Armitage, The Road Untravelled by Tim Foley, Cascade by James Moran, and Borrow or Rob, also by Tim Foley. Next up is The Third Doctor Adventures, The Quintessence, which stars Tim Treloar as the Doctor, Catherine, why have I done that? Probably, I don't know. Katie Manning as Jo Jones, previously Jo Grant, Nicholas Briggs as the Cybermen, Felicity Cant as Emmeline Pepperdine, Emily Joyce as Lucy Pepperdine, Chris Larkin as Arthur Pepperdine, Gary Turner, what's with my eyes, as Drexel. Third Doctor Adventures, The Quintessence is written by Lauren Mooney and Stuart Pringle, with the director being Nicholas Briggs. Here is the synopsis. The Doctor and Jo Jones arrive at Always, a Victorian manor house perched impossibly on the distant storm world of Nethra Reach. Greeted by the peculiar Pepperdines, a couple frantic with worry about their ailing daughter, they discover terrible secrets hiding within the panelled walls and gruesome oil paintings. Secrets that will bring the Doctor face to face with one of his most ancient and irreplaceable enemies and put his relationship with Jo to the ultimate test. Next up is Bernie Summerfield, The Eternity Club 2, which stars Lisa Bowerman as Bernie Summerfield, Nicholas Grace as Security Pym, Nymph Culsack as the oldest, Dan Starkey as Strel. Bernie Summerfield, The Eternity Club 2 is written by Tim Foley and directed by David O'Mahony. Here is the synopsis, which is that we know the 2 stories, so it's an hour release with 2 half-an-hour episodes. So we have Rhubarb and Please Retain Your Ticket for the Cloakroom. Next up is Torchwood Widdershins, which stars Sereth Flynn as Ian. Torchwood Widdershins is written by Guy Adams and directed by Lisa Bowerman. Here's the synopsis. One night, long ago, Ian tried to raise the devil. He walks the wrong way around an ancient stone in the village graveyard. Didn't think anything would happen. Not really. But something did. Something far worse than the devil came to Landleth. And now, many years later, Ian's trying to work out what really happened that night to Torchwood ruin his life. And next up is Jenny, the Doctor's Daughter, Saving Time, which is the third box set of Jenny, the Doctor's Daughter, which stars Georgia Tennant as Jenny, Sean Bigstaff as Noah. Jenny, the Doctor's Daughter, Saving Time is written by John Dorney, Rishana Patel, Adrian Poynton and Lizzie Hopley, with the director being Bethany Wammers. Here's a synopsis. The first story is titled Florence O'Connor and the Sandwich of Doom, written by John Dorney. The second story is A Beginner's Guide to Monsters and How to Slay Them, written by Rishana Patel. The third story is titled Genesis of the Humans by Adrian Poynton, and the fourth and final story in this box set is Reboot, written by Lizzie Hopley. That is all of the Big Finish releases as of recording that we know about that are coming out in October 2024. As previously mentioned, there probably will be more than that, because with Big Finish there'll be covers and trailers and yes, but every month I will be doing a new Big Finish news episode, at least one, maybe two, depending upon it, or maybe even three if there's huge amounts of news, but probably one or two. But yes, so now we're into November 2024, which will see the War Master Future Phantoms, Once and Future Coda the Final Act, the Seventh Doctor Adventures, Birdie Summerfield, the Eternity Club 3, Torchwood, and the Sirens of Time Redux be released. So we're going to start off by talking about the War Master Future Phantoms, which stars Derek Jacobi as the War Master, Annette Badlam as Dorothy Stubbs, Robert Glenster as Mr. Elliot, Lorne McFadden as Alan Stubbs, with the War Master Future Phantoms being written by Jonathan Barnes, James Goss, Lizzie Hopley and Tim Foley, with the director being Scott Hancock. Here is the synopsis. For decades there have been rumours at St. Simon's College, whispers of a door that somehow appears once a year in the depths of the building. Some claim it leads to a set of rooms owed by a long-forgotten master of the college, and if you happen to meet him, we invite you inside to hear a story, a tale to chill you the blood. But those who hear him speak are never the same. No one knows who the man is or where the rooms come from. There is no official record of either, and yet they both exist if you know where to look. When the cold dark nights draw in, would you like to hear a story? Because the master's waiting. We've got the titles and the writers for the 4 episodes. So the first story in this box set, so it's similar to Time War Uncharted Reflections and Jenny's The Doctor's Daughter Saving Time, 4-hour-long stories. So the first one is titled His Close Companions by Jonathan Barnes. The second story is titled The Foxglove Cylinders, written by James Goss. The third story in this box set is The Sitter by Lizzie Hopley, and the fourth and final story in this box set is Signal and I'll Come to You, written by Tim Foley. Next up is Once and Future Coda the Final Act, which we don't have any cast for. We know it's written by Tim Foley, directed by Helen Goldwyn, and the synopsis I will read in a second. So Once and Future, so between May and November 2023, so the Doctor 26th anniversary, Big Finish released a 1-hour release every month. So there was, the first one was with Tom Baker, Sarah Jane, Kate Stewart and Osgood. Then it was the 5th Doctor, Jenny. Then it was the 7th Doctor and Davros. Then it was the 6th Doctor, Lady Christina, Harry Sullivan and Jackie Tyler, my memory here. Then it was the 10th Doctor, Missy and the Paternoster Gang. Then there was 2 in October. Oh, this was October, wasn't it? With Time Lord in Memorial featuring the 9th Doctor and the Unbound Doctor, and the Union featuring the 8th Doctor, Susan and River Song. So this is the final act. So here's the synopsis for Once and Future Coda, the final act. The Time War. The Doctor has been injured and brought to a Time Lord Field hospital. His body glows with energy, but this is no regeneration into a future form. Instead, the Doctor's past faces begin to appear as he flips haphazardly between incarnations. Staggering to his TARDIS, the Doctor sets out to solve the mystery of his degeneration. Who has done this to him, how and why? From the Earth to the stars, across an array of familiar times and places, he follows clues to retrace his steps, encountering old friends and enemies along the way. Tumbling through his lives, the Doctor must stop his degeneration before he loses himself completely. Next up is the 7th Doctor Adventures, which we know will star Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor. There is no writer or director or synopsis at the moment. Next up is Bernie Summerfield, The Eternity Club 3, which we know will star Lisa Bauman as Bernie Summerfield, Nicholas Grace as Security Pim, Liam Cusack as the oldest, J.J. Jacobs as Alfred, Simon Kane as Stress. Bernie Summerfield, The Eternity Club 3 will be written by James Goss and directed by David M. Mahoney. Here's a synopsis, which we know that the 2 stories, so it's an hour long like the other ones, but the half-an-hour episodes. The first episode is titled The Terrible Shame of a Tree, and the second episode is titled Mr. Pym Has an Adventure. We know that there will be a Torchwood. We don't know who it will star, who the writer is, who the director is, so we don't have a synopsis. Next up is something we do know a lot about, and there's actually a trailer which was released today, only a couple of, just over 2 hours ago from when I'm recording, which is The Sirens of Time Redux. Now, The Sirens of Time is the first Doctor Who audio drama that Big Finish released in July 1999. Which stars Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor, Colin Baker as the 6th Doctor, Sylvester McCoy as the 7th Doctor, Nicholas Briggs as the Temperate and Drudges, Andrew Fettes as Commander Reldeth and Mark Gatiss as Captain Squidler, Captain and Knight 2, Anthony Ketch as Coordinator Vansel, Colin McIntyre as Sancroft, Sarah Moat as Knight Commander Lonia, Nicholas Pegg as Delegate, Maggie Stables as Ruth Lee, Michael Wade as the President, I don't know where I got that from, John Wadmore as Commander Lieutenant Setner, Pilot Asvir and Sub-Commander Selnick. The Sirens of Time Redux was, or is, written by Nicholas Briggs and directed by Nicholas Briggs. Here is a synopsis. Gallifrey is in a state of crisis, facing destruction at the hands of an overwhelming enemy, and the Doctor is involved in 3 different incarnations, each caught up in a deadly adventure. Scattered across time and space, the web of time is threatened, and someone wants the Doctor dead. The 3 incarnations of the Doctor must join together to set time back on the right track, but in doing so, will they unleash a still greater threat even. Here is the trailer for The Sirens of Time Redux.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The Sirens of Time Redux.
Fire torpedo!
The High Council of the Time Lords.
The Time Lords?
The High Council of the Time Lords commands you.
Now surrender, Doctors! Surrender!
Hello, listen to me. We are here by accident, but perhaps...
There has to be another way. Don't you see what you're doing is evil?
I didn't see you there.
Evidently. What did you spend?
And just who the hell are you, for that matter?
Time Lords.
Your president is dead, Time Lord.
All of space and time was yours for the taking.
You have accurately identified some of my defining traits.
And now all you will know for eternity is subjugation.
What a way to end a geology field trip. Dying of exposure.
We're far from dead yet, Helena.
Now what?
Control here. Report.
I seem to have forgotten the way again.
Sector 8 alert. Sector 8 alert.
Prepare to engage Vortex Drive.
I can't stop it.
Doctor, it's coming this way!
Let's get a move on, shall we?
Time distortion.
I trust you to fly me stark naked through a cheese grate.
The Time Lords really do want me dead. There must be no witnesses.
Who are you?
Beware the Sirens of Time.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the trailer for The Sirens of Time Redux, which you can listen to the original version, The Sirens of Time now, and The Sirens of Time Redux will release in November 2024. Next up, that's all the releases for Big Finish in November 2024 as of recording. Next up, we're looking at December 2024, which was the month which will be the month, hopefully, in which The Paternoster Gang Trespassers 3, The 8th Doctor Adventures Deadly Strangers, Bernie Summerfield The Eternity Club 4, A Torchwood Monthly Adventure, and The War Doctor Rises Box Set 2 will be released. So we're going to start off with The Paternoster Gang Trespassers 3, but as you will notice as we get further in the future, obviously there's less detail, so yeah. It will star back to the Patmos Gang Trespassers 3, which will star Neve McIntosh as Madame Vastra, Katrin Stewart as Jenny Flint, Dan Starkey as Strax. There is no writer at the moment, and the director is Ken Bentley. There's not a synopsis either. Next up is the 8th Doctor Adventures Deadly Strangers, which stars Paul McGann as the Doctor. No writer, director or synopsis there. Next up it is Bernie Summerfield, The Eternity Club 4, which will star Lisa Bauman as Bernie Summerfield, Nicholas Grace as Security Pim, Ninth Kuska as the oldest. Bernie Summerfield, The Eternity Club 4 will be written by Tim Foley and directed by David Mahoney. As with the previous 3 releases, this is a 1-hour release with 2 half-an-hour episodes, that being Sanctuary and Liturgy of Death. Next up we know there will be a Torchwood, but there's no details around that. And also there will be the War Doctor Rises box set 2. That's what I've called it, because there's no we know there's a War Doctor Rises box set, but we don't know what it's called, or we know it will star Jonathan Carley as the War Doctor. No writer or director or synopsis there. And that's actually where I'm going to finish off this episode, because I've gone through all of the 2024 Big Finish releases that are currently announced as of the 5th of July 2024, between July and December 2024. So let me know what you thought about the releases that I've talked about in this episode. But next time on the Everything Podcast, I'll be looking at the Big Finish releases due to be released in 2025. And so in the comments below, let me know what you thought about the Big Finish releases I talked about in this episode, and put any Big Finish releases, either past or future, you would like me to talk about. Put them in the comments below, as well as anything else you want to cover the channel. So it could be a review suggestion for a TV show or movie, it could be a book or comic, or it could be some news about your favourite TV show or movie. Put them in the comments below as well. I remember you could also like, comment and subscribe, and that's it for this episode of the Everything Podcast. Goodbye.